He probably designed the menu app for this restaurant, my mother said. Since that's about the level we're working with. 14 people laughed. I counted them. My name is Daniel Reeves. I am 26 years old. This is the story of the night a stranger at a dinner table finished a sentence my family had been writing about me for years, and the sentence was nothing like they expected. We grew up in Claremont, Ohio, in a house that smelled like dryer sheets, an ambition that belonged to everyone except me. My father, Gerald, sold insurance and coached my brother Marcus's travel baseball team on weekends. My mother, Diane, ran the PTA and kept a printed list of Marcus's academic achievements laminated on the refrigerator. Marcus was 29, had a finance degree from Ohio State, wore collared shirts to dinner even when no one asked him to, and had recently been promoted to assistant branch manager at a regional bank. He was the refrigerator list. I was the footnote nobody bothered to write down. My room was at the end of the hall. I kept the door closed. I had 2 monitors, a standing desk I built from a YouTube tutorial, and a mechanical keyboard my father once called the most expensive way to avoid getting a job. I worked 12 to 14 hours a day. I had been doing this since I was 19. Nobody in my family knew what I actually did. I had tried, twice, to explain it. The first time, my mother interrupted me to ask if Marcus needed a ride to the airport. The second time, my father nodded slowly, the way people nod when they are waiting for you to stop talking, and then said, "So it's like a video game thing." I stopped explaining. The slights were not dramatic. That is the thing about this kind of family, they do not yell. They prune. Thanksgiving, 3 years ago. My Aunt Carol asked what I was up to. Before I could answer, my mother said, still doing his computer thing, in the same tone she would use to say still has the rash. 11 people at the table. I passed the rolls and said nothing. Christmas, 2 years ago. Marcus announced he had been promoted. My father opened a bottle of wine he had been saving. I had, that same week, quietly crossed 200,000 in annual revenue for the first time. I ate my ham and watched the candles burn down. Last Easter, my cousin Jenna, who is 22 and in nursing school, asked if I was ever going to do something real. I told her I was working on something. She said, working on it or playing on it? My mother laughed. My father reached for more potatoes. I excused myself to use the bathroom, and stood at the sink for 90 seconds with the water running. Then came the engagement dinner. Her name is Sophia Marchetti. She is 25, laughs too loud at her own jokes, and is the most structurally honest person I have ever met. When I told her, 6 months into dating, what I actually built, she sat with it for a moment and then said, "Why don't you tell people?" I said I'd tried. She said, "Try differently." I said I was comfortable with the arrangement. She looked at me for a long moment and let it go. Her father is Vincent Marchetti. 61 years old. Founded a software acquisition firm called Marchetti Capital Group that has been buying and licensing mid-size tech products since 2009. Net worth as of last year's Forbes regional feature, $34 million. The dinner was at Aldea, a restaurant in Columbus with white tablecloths, and a sommelier who introduces himself. My parents, Marcus, his girlfriend Trish, Sophia, her mother Elena, and Vincent. 14 people at the table, counting the business associate Vincent had brought. My mother made the menu app joke 11 minutes into the first course. I picked up my water glass. Vincent Marchetti did not laugh. I noticed because everyone else did, including Trish, who does not know me well enough to have an opinion. Vincent looked at me. Then he looked at the slim laptop sleeve I had set against my chair leg, which had a small logo sticker on it, a geometric bird in blue and gray, the kind of logo a graphic designer would call clean, and most people would call forgettable. He said, "Excuse me. Is that a Wren logo?" Wren is the name of the project. A UX optimization platform I had built over 4 years, initially alone, then with 2 contractors I hired remotely. I had kept the company anonymous by design, using an LLC registered in Delaware, communicating with clients through a project alias. I had 17 enterprise clients. The platform had processed over 4 million user sessions. I had turned down 2 acquisition offers already. Vincent's firm had submitted a third offer 8 weeks earlier. 2.3 million. I had not yet responded. I said yes. It was a Ren logo. Vincent set down his fork. He said, I've been trying to find the person behind that platform for 4 months. My legal team has sent 3 inquiries to the Delaware address. We've had internal analysts try to identify the developer from the code architecture. He looked at me the way people look at something they have been searching for in a drawer and have just found in their own hand. That's your company. It was not a question. I said yes. My mother said, what? My father said nothing. Vincent turned to my father and said, quietly, with no performance in it, your son built one of the most elegantly engineered UX platforms in the mid-market space. My company has been trying to acquire it. We offered him $2.3 million. He paused. He hasn't returned the call. Marcus put his fork down. The sound it made against the china plate was the loudest thing in the room. I did not say I told you so. I did not look at my mother. I looked at Sophia, who was watching me with the expression of someone who has been waiting a long time for a bus that has finally arrived, and I said, I was going to respond to the offer this week. Vincent laughed. An actual laugh, surprised out of him. My mother said my name. Daniel. Just my name, as a sentence, as though she were trying to locate me. I looked at her. I said, I've been working. In the months that followed, the Marchetti Capital offer was renegotiated. The final number was $2.9 million, with a 5-year licensing arrangement and a consulting retainer that kept me attached to the platform's development. My attorney, a woman named Patricia Osei, who I had retained the year prior, handled the close. The wire cleared on a Thursday. My father called that Sunday. He said he hadn't known. I said I understood. He said he was proud of me. I let the sentence exist without adding anything to it. My mother sent a card. Handwritten. It said she was sorry she hadn't understood what I was building. She said she wished I had explained it better. I read it twice, then put it in the drawer with my 2022 tax returns. Marcus texted, "That's crazy, man. Good for you." I thanked him. Sophia and I married the following spring in a small ceremony in Napa. 31 people. Vincent gave a toast in which he said, without embellishment, that I was the most patient person he had ever done business with. He meant it as a compliment. Here is what I know now. I lost 7 years of being seen inside my own family. I will not get them back. I do not spend energy thinking about what would have been different if they had believed me earlier, because belief was never mine to control. What I have is this: the work was always real, whether or not anyone in that house understood it. The platform existed before the dinner, and it would have continued existing after. The dinner changed nothing about the work. It only changed who could no longer pretend the work did not exist. I am not defined by the moment Vincent Marchetti put a number on what I had built. I was defined long before that, in the quiet of a room at the end of a hall, with 2 monitors and a keyboard my father thought was a waste of money. Silence is not the same as absence. I was always there.